Hi everybody, my name is Yegor. I'm a visual artist and I recently just came out as a visual artist slash painter this year after having some very wild, uh, mind-breaking experiences with my girlfriend Lauren. Uh, she is very instrumental in getting me to rediscover my gifts for art, and her in her own right is an amazing visual artist as well, and a fantastic singer while we're at that. So before we continue with my stuff, make sure you give Siren a follow, psy.ryn on YouTube and Instagram. She's been my muse, and she kind of started my exploration into the art scene again while giving me a safe space to really explore who I am creatively, because there's a lot of creative energy that's been going on inside me that I've been stifling for a while. She pointed this out as me having an issue with feminine energy. She was absolutely bang on about that. By her calling my bullshit out, she was able to allow me to express my feminine side without diminishing my masculine side in order to create something such as this. The piece that I want to present to you today is my latest one that I have finished. This is called The Wheel of Fortune. That name came to me in a dream, and it kind of represents there are many symbols layered in there. I'll do my best to explain what's going on, but the way it works with my art is I meditate or go into a trance or meditative state, and I connect with the higher realms through breathing exercises and other forms. And what I get are oftentimes visions or sudden connections of ideas, and not just a desire, an urge from the outside that I have to express what I just felt and experienced in the physical realm right here in 3D. So that's kind of been a theme in a lot of my guided painting. I can't give myself full credit for painting this because honestly, if we're gonna be real here, I feel like there is an entity beside myself or energy that is outside myself, outside my own creative capacity, that kind of uses me as a channel. And I allow myself to go into a meditative state when I paint, and in many ways I'm often communicating with my very painting itself, and the painting itself seems to have a type of life to it too, and it tells me about it as I'm painting. It's explaining to me what I'm painting sometimes when I get ahead and paint. I'm very intuitive, and I just get an idea and I don't judge it. I decide to go with it, which is why this painting here in particular looks pretty wow. That is pretty out there. It looks like a sweet hard rock album cover, or I don't know, if you are a musician and you feel like you would use that for your album art, let me know, because that's kind of like the feeling I had when I was designing it. But also, I started with a very basic concept, an image of a vision that I got of Vitruvian-style man encased within a circle. And the circle is encased within a square, so in esoteric concepts, the circling of the square theme kind of goes in there. And he was standing with his feet planted firmly on the basement, the floor level of the inside circle, with one arm outstretched, his right side, so the masculine giving side, is outstretched, holding up a Amanita muscaria mushroom specifically, and his left hand, it is stretched out, touching basically this divine being you could call. To me, it looks kind of like an Ouroboros in many ways. If you don't know what that is the dragon or the snake eating its tail, representing the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, the cycle of change, that nothing is standing still in this universe and everything will be consumed to be made better. That's kind of a symbol that I adopted for myself ever since I went through a crisis last year, but we're not going to get into that too much. So what I saw is, like I said, the man standing, and there is a checkerboard level above this kind of fantasy realm that we have going on. And beyond the checkerboard, it is the Ouroboros. However, if you've been following my art for quite a bit, you may have seen that I have made contact with an entity that calls itself Ra. Yes, the same one from the Law of One. That was mind-blowing and amazing when I realized that. And that was a painting of what many have called the biblically accurate angel, and it's basically an eye encased in rings that are themselves eyes, and this entity is looking at itself, and it's looking at me coming up of the from beyond the veil. It looks like I'm coming out from the water, from inside of my realm, and reaching it, and I'm trying to show surprise. But anyway, that's a different painting. It just has similarities with the outside Ouroboros kind of ring that reappeared there. And as I was thinking about it, I realized that what I'm trying to depict here are different levels of the, I'm not sure if it's the psyche, or you could call them different dimensions or different realities or different planes of embodiment. According to the law of one, what we know is that there are several densities that are separate from the idea of physical dimension of space and time. So these densities are what many people in the spiritual community refer to as the dimension. And so if I was to display it here, the man himself, what is within his skin and beneath his skin, we could be used to represent the third density. And the third density is what we experience here on our physical incarnation on this earth when we come here to learn about the cycles again of death and rebirth and the flow of energy. And really the primary focus of our job here in the third density is to decide whether we're going to be of service to others, or we are going to be of service to self. And in the end, both paths, the left-hand path and the right-hand path, lead back in a direct or indirect way straight back to source, the one infinite creator of everything that we see. So the left-hand path could be considered the service to self, the taking path. That is in common understanding the evil path, but it is simply love of self above love of others. And yes, it causes people to do absolutely horrid and evil things. That path is only possible to proceed through up until the fifth density, according to the law of one. And the fifth density here is represented by the black and white squares going around the edge. Eventually, you get to a point in your development as a spiritual being where you cannot serve the self anymore, because service to self in the end is only separation. And the only way that you could serve yourself more is by actually serving others, because we all come from the same source, the same spot. In a way, we are all one. The same consciousness that exists within a microscopic cell and the same consciousness that exists within an entire star, I believe them to be living beings that are beyond our comprehension here in the third density, is the same consciousness that exists within man and woman here on earth. And it is made manifest in every living thing. When you learn to recognize it, you will learn to see these patterns that indicate consciousness and the way the consciousness moves and flows. And in the end, you recognize that everything is made out of the same consciousness, including yourself, yet you are a fractal of the one infinite creator, the one infinite consciousness. So everything that is without is also a part of you. You may not recognize it, but you manifest your own world. And together on this planet Earth, we are co-manifesting this dreamlike state that we are using for our own spiritual advancement. The illusion of separation only exists below the veil. Past the veil, past the skin of the man, there's a higher understanding how everything is a part of itself. So going beyond that, we have the astral realm, which is indicated by the mushroom kingdom kind of theme going on here in the within the first circle. It's very colorful, but you notice it down on the bottom where his feet are planted. It's kind of a bit of a hellish scene happening there, and near the top there, it's more of a majestic, heavenly kind of scene. And that perhaps is the traditional biblical heaven and hell that I represented there. But really, it is a further manifestation of the human psyche, the emotions that you feel. You choose, you decide what experience you have, hellish or heavenly, when you go into the fourth density. Fourth density is in many ways kind of like a superimposition of our world. It is where the blueprints for what will be manifest in a 3D are made, and you can have the power to guide your direction into whichever manifestation you want to create by deciding what you're going to feel in the given moment. Over here, really the way the astral realm is split up is into 3 layers, which I try to illustrate here. You have the lower astral, middle astral strata and the upper astral. The middle is represented by the mushrooms, which are basically guides and tools towards direction that you're willing to take. Are you going to take the downward direction, or are you going to take the upward direction of service to other self? But really, your strata of feelings, emotions, from envy, lust, jealousy down here near the bottom to joy, oneness, and forgiveness, gratitude up here near the top. That's your typical spiritual vibration strata, but it's still manifest fully in the fourth density here as represented. Fourth density is really a heart chakra kind of place, and it's a place where you further refine, in a way, the path that you have chosen to do. It's also, I believe, where dreams happen and dreams take place. So if you could break through out of your skin, you go through the veil. I've had that happen when I had an out of body experience where I re-entered a dream. It felt like I was literally breaking through like this sheet of very dense, high pressure, maybe rubber or something, but it almost felt watery. And I felt the pressure around the perimeter of my skull as well. So that was quite interesting. That was a moment where I actually broke through into this fourth density realm. The colors there are vivid, so vivid that your human 3D brain cannot comprehend it. But everything is much more real there. That's an amazing realm to be, which is why I like to use bright colors. I think bright colors are fun and they do a thing, and why not, right? Beyond that, I've had strange experiences where I've been pulled out of the fourth density and went into like a, I guess you could call it a fifth or maybe a waiting room. This is where kind of the ideas start to break down and get a little bit fuzzy for me. But I just know that I've been in an area of the human psyche, or what you want to call it, a level of consciousness where it's all black and white, right? Alternating on and off, male and female. There's nothing in between. And I believe that to be a kind of mental plane. It's almost digital, binary, the way that it works there. And there I met a being I had previously painted a painting of, which was a type of, I identified it as a seraph based on biblical kind of descriptions in the past. I have painted this being as well there. And beyond that, the sixth density is this Ouroboros looking being. And that understanding comes from a unity of wisdom and love together. First you develop your love in the fourth, and then you develop your wisdom in the fifth, and beyond that you enter the sixth density where there's an integration of the two that happens. And this cannot be done on the path of service to self. It can only be done on a service to other self kind of path, the typical altruistic personality and pursuit of helping others. And beyond that, the seventh density is a place that we know little about. These eyeballs here, and let me tell you, when you stare at it under altered states of mind, it creates a vibration in your head when you look at it. It's really interesting. It's like a brain massage that happens, because these eyeballs, they tend to vibrate a little bit, and they represent kind of the beginning of the ineffable, hard word, in seventh density and beyond. Just checking on my recording here, make sure the equipment is still going. Kind of the first time I'm using the setup here. Right, so that's kind of the explanation of what the 7 layers within this painting are right here. But there are some other details that kind of came in that were quite interesting. Notice how the eyes of this creature are orange, and that's the color that I've seen them when I've entered altered states. The man's eyes I made to also be orange. Why? I'm not particularly sure why I was directed to do that. Maybe you guys might understand. What I'm getting out of it is that this man actually has the eyes of the Ouroboros type being, because he is made of the same stuff, and in a way he is a 3D embodiment of this 6th density being. In my understanding, perhaps we are all this being here, integrated fully on a higher plane and density, where we are in a very literal way many beings, but one being, a collective consciousness of sorts, but individuated here in the 3D world as individuals, like with the same heritage, the same eye color, eye representing consciousness, and basically most of my paintings that I do. I was led to do another weird thing here. I figured something out about the way plants grow when I was looking at them. And maybe you could see this. This one here is actually a pretty good example of what I'm going to be talking about. If you're familiar with a spherical torus, it seems to be a very basic and fundamental kind of shape of energy flow in our entire universe. Everything seems to follow this pattern, including magnetic fields of our sun, whirlpools, and water. At any type that energy will be flowing, it's not going in a straight line. It's going in a curved line. I believe understanding of the universe may be augmented, like I'm no physicist. There we go. I don't even know the right word for it. I'm no physicist to properly explain, but maybe if the use of curved lines in physics could be somehow implemented in vector calculations, whatever they do there in the physics world, it will give us a better sense of how things actually flow and work together. So, that aside, observe. Notice how the leaves follow the curve of a spherical torus, right? It's like they're coming out of a center point and they're curving around an invisible kind of organic field. I'm not claiming that there is a new undiscovered field that we haven't learned about. I'm just saying basically the fundamental forces of nature, they do follow this pattern specifically all the time. Now, the next thing that's kind of got drawn to my attention, and I'm not sure, I hope you could see this pointed into here, that, okay, think about when you were a kid and you were watching cartoons and an evil character comes on, right? Like the typical cartoon devil. Imagine it for me in your head, right? How are you imagining him? Let me guess. A lot of kind of pointy angles and sneaky kind of looking features that start wide but end at a very tiny single little point, kind of a shape that's more like this, more like spiky and pointy, and if you could call it something, you could almost say that that shape is narcissistic. And it's funny because cartoon animators, I don't know if they do it consciously or subconsciously, but they are reversing the flow of energy. Energy is flowing out the service to other self path. But if you are of service to self, if you are a pathological narcissist, you're trying to draw energy into a single point, singularity, versus pushing energy out of the singularity. So your features, your facial features, if you think of somebody who's lying through their teeth to you like a used car salesman, kind of a crooked smile, right? And you're looking at that inward flow of energy. That is the negative path. That's the service to self path. And I've kind of illustrated it here, right here. On the lower astral, the arms grabbing the mouth, tortured mouth, all of the angles, I've made them to be kind of pointed to indicate really unnatural reversed direction of energy flow. But it seems just weird and unnatural. And in a way, it kind of seems kind of hilarious when you think about it. There's a reason that comic animators use very pointy characters to represent sneaky, evil, bad guys that are hiding stuff from you. Another thing that was kind of given to me for some reason, it has 4 legs. You know, your guess is as good as mine. But here's my guess. Again, it's not something that I planned out. It just occurred to me that I have to do it this way. I made him stand with his darkened legs right on the basement there, the bottom of the bottom. But he has cross legs in a meditative position, so his feet aren't touching the service to self path anymore. He's now meditating and generating energy from his singularity, your butthole, and comes out upward, flowing, right? So it's a creative, natural alignment with the energy, right? I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, the Amanita muscaria mushroom. This was inspired on a mixed use of psilocybin cubensis and Amanita muscaria. The Amanita is an amazing mushroom. Its properties are quite unique because it affects your GABA system. And people are scared of it because it's so ubiquitous that to keep us from using it, we've been told that it is deadly poisonous. That the decoration on it, the red cap with the white dots, is a warning sign, a danger sign. I think it looks more like a flashing red light. In the forest, you immediately see it and you're drawn to it because it is red and white. It stands out from absolutely everything on the forest floor in the fall. And it is a very good mushroom for working with your divine masculine aspect. Here's how. It has 2 compounds in it, ibutyric acid and muscimol. The ibutyric acid acts as a stimulant, so it activates your drive. In a way, I think it does something to testosterone, but I cannot be sure about it. But I just know that the experience is like a really good high energy and you're really positive about it. You feel like you have a lot of power. It really helps you connect with that masculine power, but not in a destructive way. Completely the opposite, actually connects you with your ability to be just and to take good positive action. The muscimol is a bit of a hallucinogenic. It does something to your GABA system that makes you see things. Taking cubensis and the Amanita together makes an interesting effect. Visually, it creates some of the wildest visuals that I have ever seen. It's been pretty good. But beyond that, it helps you gain insight into who you are as a man and what your place is in this world. For example, it helped me deal with a lot of issues and grievances that I had with other people, and it gave me the courage to faithfully and kindly create some boundaries, address them, and make sure that these boundaries are kept to by other people. Empowering myself. It's helping me control my masculine energy and keep it for myself, because naturally I want to help people, but sometimes these boundaries need to exist. I need to save some for myself as well. It's just such a very positive experience, reminding me that in this culture especially, that's constantly crushing men and making us feel like we are worthless and that men have no place in society anymore and that we have to give full control to women. Look, I don't have a problem of sharing power. That's what we're here for. But as a straight up a white guy, it does not feel good living in this society where you're demonized by the left extremists, and even a lot of centrist people are starting to take to that. So taking that mushroom and realizing that it's okay to be white. It's okay to be male. What matters is your heart. It was a good reminder for that too. Because I love all people. I really do. And I want the best for all. This mushroom helps me connect to that warrior aspect of myself where I am just and I don't care about your creed, race, or religion. Nothing of the sort. I'm just here for you. And that's the power that mushroom gives you as well. This whole painting, in a way, symbolizes a type of rebirth of the divine masculine energy within me. So, as I said, when I started painting, I had a very large spark and integration of the divine feminine that allowed me to do things such as this, express what I'm feeling, a very feminine kind of aspect of the psyche. But right now, I'm able to reconnect with my masculine side as well without stifling my feminine. And this painting is a representation of that. It's been exactly half a year since a real awakening of my kundalini and my feminine energy. And this mushroom has helped me integrate it quite a bit, which is why I'm honoring it in this painting right here. So right now, today is a day. I'm not going to say which day it is, but it is an important day for me because I am restarting my exercise. I was doing great for a while after I had my crisis last year. And last summer, I began working out every single morning before work. Every day, without fail, I was at the gym pumping iron. And because of that, it was kind of like a gateway drug to eating healthier too, as well. I've been fasted currently for about 36 hours, and I imagine that I'm going to keep going for as long as I can bear it. And what I'm trying to do here is a dopamine reset, because my dopamine has become unbalanced over the last little 6 months. And dopamine is a very kind of masculine energy. It is what drives action, right? So when it is misused, when your masculine energy is misused, you go and get addictions to things such as chocolate, like sweets, or any kind of doom scrolling on your phone, any of these things being a dopamine addiction. So right now, by living through this, finishing this painting, really integrating it, I am beginning to return to the gym. I went to the gym today again for the first time in many months. I'm guilty as charged. I have not been going to the gym for a few months now, and I really let my body slide. I've gained more fat. I'm not here to fat shame, but I will tell you that if you're fat, that's unacceptable, because I know what it did to me, what it did to my body, and what it did to my mind because of it. So here's the thing. Let's be real here. Your brain lives inside of your body, and the state of your body, it dictates the state of your brain as well, not your consciousness, but the amount of expression of the consciousness that you can allow into this body here on Earth. Why do you think that Big Pharma and Big Agro are poisoning us? All this junk that they feed us, mostly wheat-based corn syrup diet. Come on, get real. They have no interest in us waking up to our power as men and women here on Earth, in tune with a divine consciousness. They're in the business of keeping us enslaved, which is why this food is what we get. So what if you stop accepting being fat as okay? I'm not saying go out and shame people for being fat, call them names and destroy their psyche. That is unacceptable. I don't want to do that. But if you have a fat friend, maybe gently remind them that they're hurting themselves. They're hurting their mind, and it's making you sad seeing it, and it's breaking your heart to see what it's doing to them. Because guess what? If you have a fat body, your brain does not operate at full capacity. So you're not able to fully embody your spiritual aspect in this world. It limits the amount of consciousness. It densifies your body. And it creates a real roadblock for you to do any spiritual work and to be a real contribution to human society. Me, I've gotten fat. Like, maybe by Western standards, I'm not even that fat. I'm not even a dad bod level. But Western standards are extremely skewed. If I went to Asia, for example, every guy on the street would stop me and tell me that I'm fat without meaning me harm. They would just be telling me the truth. And that is accurate. You need to drop the excess body fat. I need to drop the excess body fat. And that's what I'm doing. I'm starting this new journey again where I'm working out every day and eating right. And really, I'm going to keep this fast going for as long as I can until I feel like my energy has fully depleted. And then I will begin to reset and snack. Because by doing so, I'm resetting my dopamine reaction. I'm resetting what things bring me pleasure. And after being fasted for a long time, a salad is going to taste fucking epic. I guarantee you. Today I went to the gym. I pumped a little bit of iron. It felt great. I was weaker. Yeah, I don't care. But what I feel good about right now is that my body is in a way, every cell in it is praising me and thanking me for finally getting out there and starting to fix it. I have severe lower back pain. Yesterday I had an episode of hugging my 6-year-old son very tightly. And I hurt my middle back so hard that I was lying on the ground for probably half an hour, unable to move after. Fixing the body, the medical system and the pharmaceutical system, it's not going to help you. I've been there. I've gone to doctors who haven't helped me. They've only prescribed me pain meds. Did fuck all. I've been to a chiropractor even, which is a bit more of an alternative adjustment, but I have 75% disc loss between my lumbar and S1. That's not coming back by Western therapy. I need a fucking miracle. So guess what? The miracle exists within yourself. This human body is an amazing machine, but it just has to be fed right. It has to be treated right. Jordan Peterson says, treat yourself as if you're treating somebody whose care you're directly responsible for. Couldn't agree more. I'm treating myself as somebody who needs help right now. And I'm gently encouraging myself to get back in the gym, start eating right, and get back to a level where my two energies, masculine and feminine, are fully integrated. And from that point on, I'm able to heal my body. Watch. I will heal my back. This will happen. It may take a few years. But I even believe that it's possible to regenerate a disc. I'm just going to do my goddamn best. So I'm grateful for the divine masculine. It is a necessary part of our existence. It is the white to the black. Because we really do live in a binary universe. I know people are going to rag me on this, but there are only two gender expressions. And the law of gender exists for a reason. It is a universal law. If you feel like you're expressing your feminine side a lot more than your masculine, let's get real here. It doesn't mean that you should mutilate your body, because the current treatment of gender dysphoria is barbaric and horrible. If you ever listen to people going through a detransitioning phase, their stories, gut-wrenching. I'm telling you, you're able to integrate your masculine and feminine energies within yourself without having to create a new vessel for yourself, without having to carve out tunnels and attach things that weren't previously there. It's barbaric. Don't do it to yourself if you're thinking about that. Candid moment. When I had an awakening of the feminine as well, I literally felt female for a while. And it was confusing because I felt an attraction to men at the same time too. And this was something that happened on a trip and lasted a couple of hours. But it gave me an insight into the understanding of how it feels to embody the opposite gender energy within yourself. But also, there's a way to channel that energy into something. Me, I'm not attracted to men. I'm straight as an arrow still. I'm a man attracted to women. What that was, I was able to get out of the confusing point of it and integrate it. You know, some guys meet their inner feminine and come out as gay. I met my inner feminine. Came out as a painter. Feminine is creative energy. If you're a creator of some kind, you have the feminine side to you. Even if you're the toughest bro dude ever, I guarantee you still have that feminine energy with you. And it doesn't mean you're gay, and it doesn't mean you're a woman, and it definitely doesn't mean that you should mutilate your body to make yourself a man or a woman. It just means that there's something within you that wants to be expressed in the outside world. We live in a society where there's an epidemic of stifling creativity. I think we're in time for a creative renaissance. I really hope that whatever you have inside you that wants to be let out, that beautiful creative aspect of yourself, especially if you're a gym bro listening to this, you let that out. Because it's important. Not being able to integrate that will cause you much harm, and it will cause society at large very much harm. You've gone down the wrong path for quite a while, but we can turn this around. Me, gym bro, but I like painting. And there's so much beauty in this world. You're really missing out if you're not integrating your divine feminine properly. That's that. Wheel of Fortune. Took me, I don't know, let's say 120 hours or so to paint. Like it matters. Maybe up to 200. It was a bit of a struggle. I'm glad I got it done. 3x3 feet, acrylic on canvas, and UV reactive fluorescent paint. Looks pretty sick. Again, My name is Yegor. I'm a visual artist. I'm a man who integrated his divine masculine and divine feminine and just growing in that. Thank you for watching and taking interest in what's hanging on the wall here. It means a lot to me. And I hope this speaks to you too. This is why I do it. I do the art not for myself. I do the art so that others may see it. It may be something I didn't get about it. It will spark something within you. It's a connection to the divine. This comes from my Through the Looking Glass collection. Really, you're looking into the other realms. Archetypal imagery that connects you to a very deep level of your archetypal mind, your subconscious. All right. Wow. Wheel of Fortune. It's my first video. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great day. I really do. Ciao.